Now let's get into this conversation. How are you doing today, Clinton?
Good, thank you. How are you?
I'm well. I got to give you like this introduction. So everyone, today, of course, we're not talking about the physical aspects of making a song today. We're actually going to be talking about everything that comes with growing a business, growing a brand in the music industry. And I have here with me today, and I got this word from Ebro. You are a transitionist, a world famous transitionist. He has transitioned from every point of the music industry and done it successfully. And now he is an author, and he is teaching you people out here who want to, I wouldn't even say walk a similar path because everybody's path is unique, but who wants to make sure that their path keeps moving. He put out a book with resources and information that's going to motivate you, that's going to give you some stories, that's going to make you say, and then it's just going to uplift you. So Clinton Sparks is here with us, and he has a new book out, and it's called How to Make It Big in the Music Business. So,
and I'm an idiot for not having a copy in my hand.
No.
Which I never do that.
I'm
Hold
so
on.
surprised. And you know why? Because literally you are like the king of branding. I just knew you were going to be in like a space where there were like pop-up banners and like.
Well, because I would typically be in my desk, but they're setting up my streaming stuff. So I had to come out here. Hold on. Let me grab.
All right. I'm not even going to let you go out like that.
All right. Hold on. Let me walk back outside, go back to the backyard. Hold on. Are those landscapers? Oh, no. I wanted to make sure it wasn't loud. All right. And here's the book. Get familiar.
All right, bam. All right, bam. And like I was telling everybody, like, the book is a very easy read. It's not like, it's a quick read. I read your book in like 4 hours, spanned it out over 2 days. It's not hard to digest. It's very relatable. It's very easy. So anyone who doesn't have the book or hasn't gotten it yet, go ahead and get it. It literally, you can save it to the files in your phone if you get the digital copy, if you get the physical. I know that right now do you still have the copies left that could get the signatures?
Yeah, right now. So the book is free. If you want to get the book for free, log on to winbiginmusic.com, winbiginmusic.com. Get the book for free. If you want a signed copy, there's also the ability for that as well. And I'm not really pushing this part yet, but it's available. Goes along with it. That has over 60 videos.
I will tell you, Clinton, hold on. Your service is cutting in and out. I don't know if you want to get closer to like the like back door so that you have like service.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back in my house. Hold on.
It is pretty out there though. I know it's pretty.
I was sitting out there to get some fresh air. We good now, right?
Didn't want to. Yeah, we're better. Much better.
We good now?
Yeah.
Are we good now?
Okay, so you were saying, yeah, we're perfect now. So you were saying that, so we have you can get the book for free. What was the website again?
Winbiginmusic.com, winbiginmusic.com. The book is free right now. It won't be free forever. So if you're serious about your career and you really want to learn how to win big, I advise you, as soon as we're done talking here, winbiginmusic.com. Go get a copy of the free book. If you want the signed copy, it's also an opportunity to get that there as well. And then also, I have a course with over 60 videos teaching you whether you want to be a videographer, a singer, a producer, a rapper, a DJ, A&R. I got everybody from Director X to Fabian, 5-time Grammy Award-winning engineer, to Yo Gotti, to DJ Paul, to top songwriters, top producers. Everybody's on that course. So if you really want to learn how to win big in the music business, this is the quintessential #1 book that's going to help you navigate. But by the way, the principles and values I teach in this book are transferable to any industry, not just the music business.
I think the thing that I like best about you is maybe it's because you come from a space where you were like a host and you were like, interviewing people, is that I feel like I don't even really got to ask you no questions. You're going to get to the points. Like,
Just put me, hey, I say it all the time. Just put me in the room.
Like,
just put me in the room.
You're going to get to the points. But I think I wanted to make sure that I read this book before we did this conversation because I wanted I wanted to understand from the mind point of someone who is trying to get into the music business. And one thing I will say about this book, though, this book is universal. I think the concepts and some of the stories and everything that's told, it's even if you are trying to get into any type of field in entrepreneurship, you can literally take something away from this book. And I think you do a really good job at explaining with different narratives the reason why branding is so important and the reason why you will flop if your brand is not all the way together.
Right. And the difference between marketing and branding.
The difference between marketing and branding, right? And I think there was one point that I definitely want to talk about, because I think artists sometimes, they miss the mark on this a lot. And it was a time where you're talking about like how, you know, artists are like always trying to wait to go viral, or they're always trying to wait for that big moment. And then that moment happens, but they didn't even have a website. They didn't even have a logo. They didn't even have any content to keep pushing out, because they had like fixated their life so much on that one moment that they forgot that something happens after that moment. Like, you know?
Stop waiting for some magical moment that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
One of the chapters. You know what I mean? So I see people all the time like waiting, like, let's say a producer, right? I'm making these beats. Oh, I got to get it to this big rapper. I got to get it here. And then they just end up never get it to that artist. And the beat ends up becoming a waste, right? And they never do it in their mind. Oh man, if only this happened to the beat, it would be a smash. It would be a hit. And then the beat never comes out. Then 2 years later, the beat doesn't even make sense anymore. Or even worse, somebody else comes out with something similar and you're mad. Like, that sounds just like my shit.
Because you forget that everybody, that you think that you're the only person who thinks like that, but we're in a world with billions of people, and there's got to be someone else who might think like that.
There is. And you know, the guy that has the balls enough to keep going and not get froze and just keep going. Because, you know, you could take a no-name artist, go on the internet, find an artist that matches your beat, give it to them. And if you're that dope, then you're a beat, and you might break that new artist. And that's even bigger than trying to grab it. So, you know, we talk about that stuff. We talk about networking. We talk about how to pivot. We talk about marketing. I talk about, you know, famous doesn't make you great, but great can make you famous.
Yeah,
and
that was one of the quotes that I put right here too. Like, because you have tons of quotable moments in there. And I put that famous doesn't make you great. And then great actions are remembered forever, but great minds are revered. Like, you know, tell me about like what made you put that quote in there, and what made you think of having to put that statement in there?
Well, because, you know, I've been around long enough to watch rappers, athletes, influencers, viners, everybody come and go, right? I can't tell you how many rappers were feeling themselves because they had one hit and they were the flavor of the month. And then when you try to help them build a brand and build sustainability and scalability, they're like, nah, I'm good, yo. And then like a year later, you're just like, what happened, right? And now they're calling you like, hey, yo, what's up, man? I haven't talked to you in a year. They always break bread. They always work. And it's like, nah, dude, like I was trying to tell you from before, but you didn't want to listen because you were being an asshole. And now like, and I watch it happen all the time. So people worry about like the quote that says famous doesn't make you great, but great can make you famous. People are chasing the wrong, in their mind, the wrong success. They think going viral or getting 1 million followers or getting 2 million streams and that equals long-term success. And it doesn't. You know, it's almost like, it's like the same adrenaline rush you get when you get a lot of likes or comments, right? And like, so when they see that, even if it's a lie, even if they paid for a program, even if they like bought fake streams, they legitimately believe their own lie and they fit themselves. And they go out there instead of like, I would rather get 2 new fans a day that are real people that are going to ride with me than just like fast track to getting like 50,000 more followers that don't really give a shit about me. It's just a game. You know what I mean? Like, you know, if you focus on like the 20,000 people that really rock with you, that really engage, and you're making dope shit, it's going to organically, naturally grow if you're dope. If it doesn't grow, it's not because you're not using the right tricks and tactics and scams online. It's because you're not making dope enough shit that people to share it and tell other people about it.
Yeah.
So,
okay, you're back.
All right, I got my office back.
Okay.
Let me go back in here. Yeah, so what I was saying is like, I see so many artists, they'll do something that worked, and then they don't want to do that anymore because I don't know why, right? They'll have their own different reasons, right? I mean, I'll give you a couple examples. Cardinal Official, he's a rapper from Canada, in Toronto. He had a big record called Dangerous with Akon, right? So, I mean, he was in the game for 10 years before that, but that was the song that broke out, and it worked, right? But he didn't want to make more songs like that. You know what I mean? Even though it worked. And he never enjoyed the same amount of success that song brought, right? So now you have this fight with yourself of doing what's real to you, or are you trying to make this a business and really win big by giving the people what they want? Any kind of business. If I'm making, these and nobody buys them, but then I go and I make these and they sell out, I'm not going to sit there saying, yeah, but I like these better. Like I'm going to force people to like these because I like them better. And it's like, so you got to wonder, like, are you doing it for the business, or are you doing it just because it's something normal for you and it makes you happy? And if that's the case, who gives a shit how many people like it or listen to it? Just put out the shit that matters to you, right? But if you're doing something that works, then you got to be mindful of what's working, why it's working, and who it's working with, and then go after that audience. There was another rapper back around that time, Asher Roth. He put out a song called I Hate College, right? He didn't even like that song, but the label said this is a hit. It came out, and it was a hit, right? He could have totally ran with that vibe and that concept of that kind of like angst college kid that just was like against the man and the system, and like literally sold out colleges everywhere. But instead, that wasn't real. That wasn't what he was feeling. He wanted to make this other kind of music that his audience didn't give a shit about. You know what I mean? So he also didn't enjoy the success after that song anymore. So.
And I think some of that stuff comes down to like having a great team around you, because I know that with some artists, there could be some artists out here who are like, yo, like I understand and I went through the book, but this ain't me. Like I'm just a creative. I don't want to be all these things. Do you think that in this time society, it exists anymore where the artist can only just be the artist? Or do artists need to understand that they do need to understand every component of the business side of it, because there's no more just the artist anymore?
So two things. One, every artist should know every aspect for two reasons. One, so they can never get fucked. So if they know what your job is supposed to be and what you're supposed to do, they can hold you accountable, and they can also make sure that you're doing your job, right? At the end of the day, you're the nucleus of the business, of the brand. It's you, your personality, your skill, your talent, right? So it's up to you to educate yourself and empower yourself to be the force that can drive that no matter who falls off. You got a new manager, you got a new producer, you got a new one. Doesn't matter, because I'm the success of this. Everybody else can kind of come and go. Not to say that nobody adds value, but if you understand everything that's needed and you understand what their jobs are supposed to be, then you're going to be able to say, yo, you ain't doing your job right. And it's also vice versa. There's a lot of...
Keep coming back.
Sorry. There's a lot of times artists don't know, for instance, what their manager's job is supposed to be. So they'll sit there like expecting them to do things that's not their job.
Yeah.
And they're mad at the manager and be like, yo, you're supposed to do this, you're supposed to do that. And it's like, yo, I'm not your booking agent.
I'm not the publicist.
Your production company. I'm not your record label. I'm not funding your videos. That's not my job. You know what I'm saying? Big shout out my boy Drew Boy. He's in here right now from Philly. But yeah, so like, he's got a great team. You know what I mean? And he's a great dude too, Drew Boy. He's someone I really like and admire a lot. And he brings great energy, and he understands his audience and keeps giving them what they want. And that's going back to what we were just saying. Like, you need to know your audience. You also need to know where to go to build your audience. Because you might assume like everybody tries to be successful based off of somebody who they admire was successful, right? So they're like, oh, they did it this way, so I'm going to just try to do it what they did. But you have no idea who they know, what they went through, what connections they had, what hurdles they went over, what bullshit they had to go through to get there. You just assume, oh, they were on this site, did that interview, got that, got that producer. I'm going to just do the same shit and win. And then you get mad when it doesn't work. And then you look for people to blame. For an artist, more often than not, it's the label, it's the manager, it's people around, right? And it's like, if you understand and you educate yourself, not only will you know who to blame, not only will you know who's supposed to do what, but you'll be able to fix it. Or you'll be able to help empower some of those people around you. Because when you start out, you're the whole team. You're in your room, you're your own PR, you're your own artist, you're your own engineer, at first, you're everything, unless you got some homeboys around you like that knows how to do some of this shit. But even then, a lot of times, if you bring your homie in as the manager, he might only be able to bring you so far.
And then you have to know, I think, and that's one thing that's very important too when it comes to like, you know, like just leveling up and doing things, knowing when to either hire out someone or just knowing when to let go and rebuild. But I think that like one platform that you mentioned several times in the book that I think some musicians wouldn't even think to even identify is Reddit. Like, I feel like you spoke about Reddit in multiple stories, even the Lil Nas X story. What has Reddit done for you in your, like, how do you use Reddit with your own personal brand, if you're using it at all?
Well, I'll give you an example. There was an artist named Token, who I was working with and discovered in 2015. And I actually tell the story in the book. And it talks about how every time he put out a video, he put his best work out every time, as if like this was his one and only shot to prove worthy of you becoming a fan, right? It was never like, well, this isn't the big single, or wait till I get a bigger budget, or if it wasn't killer, it wasn't going out, right? So, but he also didn't delay putting stuff out because it wasn't killer. He made sure it was killer, right? So he was putting out videos and it wasn't getting the traction that we hoped for. Then he put a video on Reddit, and just one person, this is what I have to stress to people. You don't understand. It's one person that can like your song or video, repost it, post it somewhere else, tell somebody else about it, and it goes like wildfire. So like, you have to treat everybody with respect. You have to be grateful for any and everybody that gives a shit about you, that comments, that engages, that follows, and treat them all like they're equally as important as if the baby hit you back on DM.
Yeah.
You know, because that one person, so to end that story, that one kid put it on Reddit. The video got over 1 million views once he put it on Reddit. And to show you the power of that one kid, he didn't post the next video, and the next video only got like 200,000. But Token wasn't like, oh, damn, and stress himself over. Like, yo, we did 1 million, now we're falling off. He just kept putting in the work. Now the dude sells out shows around the world, and you might not even know what I'm talking about watching this right now. But he's not doing it to be superstar famous. He's doing it to build a brand that's successful, and that's exactly what he is. And he just signed a partnership deal with APG and Atlantic Records. So, like, people just want immediate success. My guy Ponzu, who I manage, is in here. I seen him say something silly. But, like, he's another guy that's in here. Like, the reason I love working with him so much is because he's out there in the streets, which is the internet now, right? And he's out there hitting people up, reaching out to other producers, reaching out to other collaborators, reaching out to journalists and writers at Media Broad. And he'll come to me and be like, yo, I just contacted this guy. We were chopping it up. Here's his number. Follow up. Like, that's like, yo, most artists would be like, yo, that's your job as a manager.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, it's our job. We're a team. Do you know what I'm saying? If you really want to win, then you need to know how to utilize your team, and you need to learn how to master art, which is another chapter in my book. What that means is automatic resourceful thinking, mastering art. What that means is you all have resources, but you just think because you don't know that guy, or you ain't got no money, or you ain't in a city that's cracking, you already think to yourself, man, I'm never going to crack. Everyone hates on me in my city, or I don't know anything. But that's bullshit. There's so many resources, from a local DJ to a local promoter to, man, you know, the bus driver that you're riding on a bus, his son might be best friends with an A&R, but you don't know because you're sitting there shooting for this one thing instead of mastering art, which is automatic resourceful thinking. I talk about all this in the book. You need to get the book, winbiginmusic.com. Go right now, get the book. It's free. If you don't get this book when it's free, because it won't be free forever, then you do not take your career serious and you're not trying to win big. So don't complain to us at Hip Hop Weekly posting you up and putting you on our page or our site because you ain't even doing the easy steps to get. And by the way, even in my course, you know, I have editors from blogs that talk to you about how to properly solicit your music to get featured on blogs. It's all in the course.
That's one thing that I think is important, and even with like when I was reading the book and stuff, I'm very like visual on like understanding the extensions of branding. So it's like I enjoyed the fact that this was not just a book, but there was also an extension to the book, which was these courses.
Right.
The book is the buy-in to get you to the courses. And just because I've got to see what type of information is in this book, I can only imagine what you're actually going to get in these courses.
And by the way, with the course, I've developed 6 products that all come free that are literally game-changing products. Like, I wish I had this shit when I was coming up.
And I think sometimes artists forget that, or probably not even that you guys forget. Some people just don't understand how this stuff works, but you are a brand essentially as an artist, and you should have extensions to your brand, which could be product, it could be, whatever it's going to be. When a new artist is coming out, what one extension to their brand do you think that they always forget to think about outside of merchandise?
There's too many. I think people just think it just make dope shit and that's all I got to do, right? And it's not that. That's one component. That's one part of it, right? The more dope shit you put out, look, the key to success is persistence and consistency, right? So just keep putting out, create dope, put it out, create dope, put it out, create dope, put it out, right? And going back to that chapter in the book, it's one of the analogies I use. It's like, I'm not going to pull out the big body Rolls Royce until I get invited to that billionaire's party. But you don't realize you driving around in that Rolls Royce is what made you get invited to that billionaire's party.
Perception is everything.
Right. So it's like, you got to keep putting out music and not wait for some magical moment that doesn't exist. Just keep putting it out, because every time you put something out, somebody else is going to find you. You're going to build, you never know. You might put out a record that got 300 likes, but then all of a sudden Mike Will heard it by accident. You know what I mean? Or somebody else like freaking Joe Gotti's, going through and he's like, man, who's this kid? You know what I mean? And they're that's how it happens. I've watched it happen. I've watched nobodies become huge just because they were putting out dope. You know how many times I stumble upon someone's page, I'm like, this person's crazy. How does nobody know about them? You know what I mean? And then I'll DM them like, what are you doing? You know, like, oh man, I'm just trying to get it going. I'm like, yo, your page is better than anybody famous. This is crazy. Let me connect you to this A&R I know. Or let me connect you to this producer. Or yo, let me work with you. Or send me a record. I want to add it to my radio station. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like, people don't think like that. They think they got to just shoot over the fences every time. People got to get on first, second, and third. Just try to get on base.
Yeah.
And putting music out. Keep going, keep going, keep going.
What advice would you give for, and we're going to let you head out in a second, but what advice would you give for somebody who is trying to capitalize on this social media era with their content? Before they're putting out their music, what should they be doing behind the scenes? Because that's what you talk about that in the book too. So what should someone be doing behind the scenes before they just start pushing all this stuff out? Right.
So you should already have everything set up. You should have all your assets created. You should have all of your business handled. Meaning there's a lot of things people don't even know, right? And that's why I wanted to teach. That's why I'm going to give the book for free, because there's so much shit. I watch people go through drama all the time on the simple, basic things that they just don't know, because you're so misled, so misguided, so misinformed on the internet from people that are out here just trying to scam you and sell you fake inspiration. So let's, God forbid, you have a record that takes off, right? The worst problem to have in any business is super success in customers, in interest, and not enough product, right? So if you go out there and all of a sudden a record does go viral or a label comes back, you got to have your website looking cracking. You got to have your socials cracking. You got to have your business plan cracking. You got to have your team all developed. When you have all this done, if you get fortunate enough to get people to come back to listen to more of your shit, and they go to your perfect example of your Instagram. If I hear a song of yours by accident in a feed or on YouTube or on Spotify or something, I'm like, yo, this person's dope. Let me go check them out online. And then I go to your page and it's just you doing dumb shit that's got nothing to do with music. And I don't know where your music is. It's not telling me you're serious about your music. It doesn't give me a direct link to hear more music. You failed. Because what's going to happen is not just me, any regular fan, they're going to there's so much shit coming thrown at us every day that I'm going to forget about you and lose interest if you don't hit me with some shit that's going to make me stick. Yeah. So when I go to your page and all of a sudden you're just talking about, basketball in every post or pranking people, which by the way, there's a balance between creating a world that's engaging and compelling for people to be like, oh, I like this person, because you want to sell yourself before you sell what you're selling. If people like you, they're more apt to like your music. Or if they like your music and like you, now they're a super fan. So you definitely got to create the content that people say, oh, I fuck with this person. But you also got to make sure that when they come there for what they're coming there for, which is the music that just brought them there, then you got to make sure it's there and it's easy for them to consume or click a link and get to. Don't make me go searching your shit, and don't go in your bio like 17 hashtags, 3 other companies you're a part of. All I'm like, I don't even know. I don't even forget it. I'm out. I don't even know what to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So someone just asked, what's the name of the book? They must have just got here.
How to Win Big in the Music Business. It's free. You can get it right now at winbiginmusic.com, winbiginmusic.com. Or you can click the link in my bio if you can't remember winbiginmusic.com. But the book is free. Get it right now. It's literally everything you need to know to win big in the music business. But by the way, all the principles and values that I teach you on how to win big in the music business are transferable to any business you're in, including your own personal relationships. And by the way, in this book is the proven winning formula that every artist that continues to win follows the formula I teach you in this book. Shout out my boy DJ Chubby Chubb in here. Chubby Chubb's one of the guys that really helped me at the beginning of my DJ career have a voice. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because like I seen him one time at you ever go to a show and you see something and you're just like, holy shit, this is awesome, right? I just watched him DJ and just own the crowd when he was on the mic. And at that time, I spoke with my hands, right? And when I seen him do that, it gave me the confidence to get on the mic and just, you do what I say now, and own the room. And, you know, I owe that to Chubby Chubb. And he was also the first person that gave me the balls to tell someone back in the day when I first started, to charge them $1,000 for a DJ gig. Yeah. I was like, $1,000? That's too much, man. No one's going to pay.
I've seen that. Even when I seen that, I was like, dang, I got friends who are still only charging $150 an hour.
Yeah. But yeah, like in 2001, 2, and 3, when we first started together in Boston on Boston Hot 97.7. But yeah, shout out to Chubby Chubb. He DJs for 50 Cent now.
I love how much positive energy you have. We've been in here, maybe like 30 minutes, and I've literally sat here and watched you give positive accolades to about 3-4 people who are just inside of these, you know, who are just in here commenting, and it's like just that energy alone, I feel, is what has brought you this far, because you can definitely tell in just this conversation alone, you're extremely humble, you're extremely give back, and you love to give people their flowers while they're alive. And it's, even if they're, you know, have exceeded you or on their way to become, and I definitely appreciate that alone just in this conversation. And I'm sure people around you appreciate that too, you know?
Well, I talk about it in the book about, you know, people feel like in order to be great, and this, you know, in hip hop is very competitive, right? Producers, DJs, right? And people feel like in order to be great, they have to make somebody else not great. It's the whole win-lose theory, right? And I've always subscribed to the theory of helping others become great is being great. So I don't mind being my own great and then helping others be great. And more often than not, people don't appreciate it, but that'll never stop me from doing dope for other people. I mean, there's people that I've made superstars that, you know, behind closed doors, they'll acknowledge me, but they never publicly say if it wasn't for Clinton. But they'll say it to me. You know, no way. I want everybody to know, like, even before Chubby, there was a guy named Reggie Bees, who was a guy in Boston that, like, none of us know who he is, but I'll always big him up because he's the first guy that called me and was like, yo, I want to put you on radio. And I'll never forget that. I'll never not champion him for that.
Yeah. Well, that's something good that everyone can take from. Not only are they going to be taking all this information that we just gave them for free, again, over this past 40 minutes, but you also have this free book, and you're humble. And tell everybody one more time where they can get this book at and why they need to have this book in their.
How to Win Big in the Music Business. The forward is written by Damon John, too, by the way, from Shark Tank. So you get it free right now, winbiginmusic.com, winbiginmusic.com, or just click the link in my bio. And shout out to Hip Hop Weekly Magazine, shout out to Motion, shout out to Stretch, shout out to you. Thank you guys for supporting me, and thank you for supporting the culture that I love very much, and that's hip hop.
Yeah, thank you so much for taking time to come out here and speak with us. And I got to read your book, so thank you for that information that you shared for free. And everybody out there, let's go ahead and throw some fires in there. Let's tell him goodbye. And we know that you guys can get your books for free, get this information. If you really want to take your career to the next level, you know where to get the information from. You got his page. Wow.
If anybody's into gaming or esports, which I've been at the forefront of intersecting the gaming and music industries for the past 3 years and built one of the biggest esports brands in the world. I brought it from zero to $240 million valuation. I just launched a new esports.
I knew you had something for us.
Yeah, it's the most diverse, fastest growing esports and gaming lifestyle brand in existence. There hasn't been much diversity in XET. In gaming, and I really wanted to. Me and my partners really wanted to start a company that would really bring in people of color and women, LGBTQ, like into this space that's severely lacking it. And we're already breaking records doing that. We've already signed 13 women. I'm really proud of that. And we're doing a lot of social good too. So if you believe in gaming and you see esports and gaming is the future and you love what I'm doing with the music and esports, and you care about social good and you care about diversity, go follow us at XET on Instagram, at XET. Get familiar. We just dropped these hoodies too, by the way. You need one.
Be sure to send information so I can make sure that I get up to date on what you have going on. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Well, thanks for letting us, of course, get familiar with you and this book. And I'm gonna let you go, and then I'm gonna do this outro.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Peace out.
So everybody, thank you guys so much for tuning in. You guys know where you can get this book. I'm your host, Kei Renee, and be sure to stay connected with Hip Hop Weekly. We have more live interviews coming all week long. Have a good day, you guys.